How are your hips feeling today? With all of the sitting that we do, our hips can feel pretty tight. Hi, I'm Rosemary from You Are Right on Time, and this is Take 5 Yoga, 5 minutes of mat-free yoga, perfect for beginners and gentle yogis. Are you ready to put a little swing back into your hips? Come on, let's get started. Let's start by warming up the hips a little, and you can keep a chair near you in case you feel like you want a little extra stability. We begin by just sort of walking, but really what I'm doing, I'm coming up on my toes. So bending one knee and then the other, just back and forth, sort of an exaggerated walk. And as you do that, you can feel your hips moving side to side. I invite you to put your hands there if that helps you to feel it. Anything that helps you feel comfortable, just lifting. It's like a prance. And then the next time that your right knee comes up, just stay there for a moment, balancing on your toes. You can hold on to your chair. And from here, I invite you to hinge at your hips and just start bending forward over your front knee. And notice, do you start to feel that stretch in the back of your straight leg? You can have a tiny, tiny bend in that straight knee, just so it doesn't lock. And then bring yourself back up. And let's do that exaggerated prance again, just side to side. Noticing, and you can even push your hip out to the side little by little. This time, when your left knee is bent, hands on your hips, one hand on the chair if you'd like, hinging from the hips, bending forward over that bent knee, nice flat back, until you begin to feel that stretch in the back of your leg. And you can even think about pushing your tailbone back to the wall that's behind you. One breath here, and then coming up straight. And now I invite you to just sway your hips from side to side. Definitely keep your hands right there on your hips, bending one knee and then the other, and just sending the hips side to side in whatever way feels good. And coming to stillness, placing one hand on the belly, one hand on your lower back. Let's try now taking the hips forward and back. So when you come forward, you're tucking under your tailbone, and when you come back, you're pushing your tailbone back, a little arch here in your back. So forward and back, forward and back. Just a few times, and if this hurts your lower back at all, then be very careful when you push back. Maybe keep that movement smaller. Great, shake that out. This is a fun one. Feel for a moment where your hip bones are. And yes, there's probably more flesh there than there used to be, but find where your hip bones are. We're going to do half figure eights. So we'll start on this side, and I'm holding my hand right there on my hip bone and coming up on my toes, turning my hip forward, around, and back. Forward, around, and back. Just on one side, bringing that hip forward. Can you feel your hip bone coming forward and up and around to the back? One more time. And we'll try that on the other side. So find your hip bone, come up onto your toes, then coming forward, back, and around. Forward, back, and around. Lifting that hip up as you come to the side and back and down. Almost like a belly dancer, right? Is that how you feel? And stopping. Let's take it in the opposite direction. So finding your hip bone, coming up on your toes, this time pushing back, out, and around. Back, out, and around. Back and around. That's it. Whatever feels good. If you feel like, oh, maybe I look pretty silly, that's okay. One more time. And we'll try it on the other side. Find your hip bone, come up on your toes, pushing back and out and around, back, out and around. We're really loosening up the hips, finding some synovial fluid. That's the fluid around your joints that keep them from stiffening up. And when we do something like this, we're activating that fluid. And coming to a stop. Remember hula hoops? Let's make some hip circles just like you were twirling a hula hoop around. I was never very good at that, but I can do this. And maybe take it in the other direction, round and around. Your knees are softly bent to protect the lower back. And coming to stillness, how are your hips feeling now? And that's it. Take 5 yoga, 5 minutes of mat-free yoga for beginners and gentle yogis. If you'd like to learn more about my midlife yoga program, please visit my website, www.youarerightontime.com. I'll see you for our next episode of Take 5 Yoga. And until then, I wish you namaste and peace.